Okay, just for a second, think about the last thing you bought. I don't know, maybe it was your morning coffee or even the shirt you're wearing right now. Why that one? Well, we're about to unpack the hidden and honestly fascinating forces behind that simple choice.
So, picture this. You're in an aisle, you're looking at two options. One is a brand you know, maybe one you even kind of love.
But what is it, really, that makes you reach for it? Especially when there's another option sitting right there next to it. And that other option does the exact same thing. So, what is really going on here? If the stuff inside the package is identical, what's driving that decision? That's the puzzle we're going to piece together today. To solve this, we've got to start by clearing up a huge misconception about what a brand even is. And here's a little secret for you. It has almost nothing to do with a logo. A brand isn't something you can actually hold in your hand. It's not a logo or a name. It's really the space a company rents out inside your mind. It's this whole collection of perceptions, of associations, of expectations, and probably most importantly, it's a promise of an experience. This brand map for Nike, this shows that promise in action. I mean, look at it. You've got the brand itself right there in the middle, but look at how it just spider webs out. It connects to stuff like running, but also to feelings like cool, and even big ideas like their slogan, just do it. A strong brand isn't just one thing. It's this entire mental network of meaning that they've built. Okay, so if a brand is a story that lives in our minds, the next question is, why do we choose one story over another? And this is where it gets really personal. It turns out the brands we pick are about way more than just the product. They're actually a reflection of ourselves. The question that we're asking ourselves, often subconsciously, it shifts from something practical to something deeply, deeply personal. We're not just asking what the product does for us. We're asking, what does this say about us? And this is the crucial point. A brand acts as a kind of social shortcut, a badge. It's a way for us to signal things to the world, and yeah, even to ourselves, about who we are, or maybe who we aspire to be. It signals our status, our taste, our entire identity. And this brings us right to the core conflict in pretty much every purchase decision. The battle between the head and the heart. It's function versus emotion. On one hand, you've got your logical brain, right? It's asking about functional value, what the product does, its performance, its features. Does it work? But on the other hand, you've got the heart, and it's asking about emotional value, how the product makes you feel, the confidence it gives you, that sense of belonging. How does it shape my self-image? And here is the knockout punch from decades of research. We tell ourselves all these stories about being rational creatures, but more often than not, it's our heart that makes the final call. The emotional value, that feeling a brand gives us, can completely, and I mean completely, override all the facts and features. So if emotion is the secret weapon here, how do companies strategically build it? Well, the answer is a core marketing principle, and it's called positioning. I know that sounds a little academic, a little textbooky, but the idea is actually pretty simple. Positioning is the art of owning one clear idea in the customer's mind. Just think about Volvo. For decades, through every ad, every engineering choice, they have owned the idea of safety. That's not an accident. That is world-class positioning. The key here, and this is so important, is ruthless focus. Great brands know that if you try to be everything to everyone, you end up being nothing to anyone. So they pick their one core idea, the single thing that makes them different, and they pour all their energy into owning that idea. Okay, let's make this really tangible. We're going to look at a case study of a brand that put all these ideas together and totally revolutionized an industry. Let's talk about Dove. So for over 40 years, Dove played the functional game. Their entire position was a product feature, 1/4 moisturizing cream. It was a rational scientific claim, and it worked for a while. But a feature is easy for any competitor to copy. Then, in the early 2000s, they just flipped the script. They made this radical shift away from a functional promise to a deeply emotional one. They stopped talking about what was in their soap and started a global conversation about what beauty is. So their new mission became a direct challenge to the entire beauty industry. Instead of selling this impossible ideal of perfection, they decided to champion authenticity and self-esteem, widening the very definition of what real beauty could even be. So, did this emotional shift actually work from a business perspective? It was way more than just a feel-good campaign. It was an absolutely brilliant strategic move. By connecting with customers on this truly meaningful level, Dove's brand values skyrocketed by over $1 billion in just a few years.
So what's the ultimate lesson here when you put it all together? What's the big takeaway?
The ultimate lesson is this. In a crowded world full of similar products, just being better isn't the winning strategy anymore. The brands that truly win, the ones that last, they aren't just better, they're more meaningful. They connect with our values and they become a part of our own story. So the next time you choose a brand, just pause for a second. Ask yourself what that choice really says about you. Because you might just realize you're not just buying a product, you're buying a piece of the person you want to be.